ones.
This panel finds that the death penalty is appropriate, should be, and is hereby given for each of the 4 murders by the defendant.
There are over 2,500 death row inmates in America at the moment, and spree killer Nikko Jenkins is one of them, after going on a shooting rampage and murdering 4 people. His case presents many peculiarities because he comes from a family of felons, and several members of the said family helped him perpetrate the crime, many of whom are still in jail.
Just look at their family tree. 7 felons in just 2 generations. Let's start with Nikko's uncle, 51-year-old Warren Levering. He's a felon just released from prison in Oklahoma and has done time in Nebraska too.
Jenkins' story is a strange one, primarily because of how early he started his journey in crime and the motive that he claims for them. The convicted murderer claimed that he killed 4 people, 3 men and 1 woman, as a sacrifice to the Egyptian snake god Apophis. You would think that would earn him a long stay in a mental institution, but American prosecutors decided differently after having Jenkins pay a visit to the psychiatrist. However, the weirdest thing about this story is that a woman named Dawn Arguello claimed to have found true love with the killer. Yes, this happened after his heinous crimes were revealed. We know people find love in strange places, but this one is stranger than most. Although most of this is public knowledge, there is so much more to the story of Nikko Jenkins that makes this video important. Before we go on, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? What are you waiting for? Tap on the subscribe button and touch the bell icon to get a notification for the next time we drop one of our interesting videos. With that sorted, let's learn all we have to know about the subject of this video. Nikko Jenkins was born on the 16th of September 1986 in Colorado, USA, to Lori Jenkins and David A. McGee. The couple had 6 children together. At the time of Nikko's birth, McGee and Jenkins were not married. In fact, they never got married despite having 6 children together. McGee died in 2009, and at the time of his death, he had been convicted of several terroristic threats. Nikko Jenkins and his sister grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, with a family known for committing violent crimes. In fact, 38 people from his family are known to have been convicted of crimes, and this dates back to several generations.
You could say Nikko Jenkins and his relatives have had a colorful past. Just look at their family tree. 7 felons in just 2 generations.
The irony of things is that the Jenkins descended from the Levering family, who are known for their good reputation in Omaha, Nebraska. However, since the family got involved with violence, it seems like they are having a hard time disengaging from it. From the time that Jenkins was young, all he ever knew was violence, as he was exposed to physical abuse and criminal activity that his parents committed. As early as 7 years old, Nikko Jenkins committed his first criminal act by taking a gun to school. Fortunately, no one was hurt. At 15, he was charged with carjacking and aggravated assault and sentenced to 21 years in prison when he was 16. He served 10 years out of the 21 years before he was released. Within a month after that, he committed 4 murders in 10 days and was rearrested. Here are the details about Nikko Jenkins' murders. Shortly after being released from prison in 2013, Nikko Jenkins was involved in a series of spree killings within 10 days of regaining his freedom. On the 11th of August 2013, a police officer discovered 2 bodies in a white pickup truck near a swimming pool in Spring Lake Park, Omaha. The 2 men had been shot in the head and their pockets had been turned inside out. It appeared to be a robbery followed by murder. They were identified as Juan Uribe Peña and Jorge C. Cajica Ruiz. The 2 men had been lured there by Jenkins' sister Erica Jenkins and his cousin Christine Bordeaux under the pretense that they would have intimate relations. Later, on the 19th of August 2013, the body of Curtis Bradford was discovered with 2 bullet wounds in his back. The day before, Jenkins and Bradford had posed for a Facebook picture. Jenkins' 4th and final victim, Andrea Kruger, was killed and her body left in the street. She had been going home from work. Her car was discovered 12 miles away from her body. Investigators say that an attempt had been made to set the car's interior ablaze. On the 30th August 2013, Jenkins was arrested for making terroristic threats to his then-wife, Shalonda Jenkins, who had reported him. By then, investigators had collected a host of evidence against him. Later, on the 3rd of September, Jenkins confessed to the murders in a rambling 8-hour interview. He claimed that the murders were sacrifices to the Egyptian god Apophis, or Apep, and that the hieroglyphic tattoos on his face are also homages to the same deity. Additionally, He had tried to carve 666 into his forehead, but he used the mirror so it came out backwards, reading as 999 instead. After his confession, he was charged with 4 counts of murder, to which Jenkins pleaded guilty. He insisted that he committed the crimes as commanded by Apophis and said in a handwritten letter that he would defend the god with animalistic savage brutality.
I wanted to get right to the 3-judge panel.
I want to expose these temporal physical evidence in this.
Now here is a crazy twist. In February 2014, Jenkins filed a lawsuit against the state of Nebraska claiming that he should not have been released early, while stating that his claims of hearing voices from Apophis were ignored. He also complained about being placed in solitary confinement, saying that it worsened his schizophrenia and demanded $24.5 million. During his trial, however, a judge ordered a psychiatric evaluation, and mental health professionals concluded that he suffers from antisocial personality disorder and was faking psychotic symptoms to avoid taking responsibility. Jenkins spoke in tongues, howled, and laughed as prosecutors narrated the details of his victim's death during his trial. In May 2017, Jenkins was sentenced to death by a 3-judge jury and an additional 450 years in jail on weapons charges. On 20th April 2020, the Supreme Court refused his request to appeal the decision. Jenkins has also been married once, although he never spent more than a month outside a prison environment with his ex-wife. He married Shalonda Jenkins on the 6th of February 2010 at the Tecumseh State Prison. There are no records of them having any children together, although Shalonda had a child with another man during their marriage. She has been openly critical of how he was treated, saying that he suffers from mental health disorders and didn't stand a chance once he was taken out of prison. Nikko Jenkins is currently in prison, where he is awaiting the date of his execution, which hasn't been set yet. He is still one of the prisoners on death row in the state of Nebraska, but a death date has not been set for him yet. In 2019, Dawn Arguello, a 46-year-old Texas woman, was reportedly planning to marry the convicted murderer. When asked about the details of the nuptials, Arguello refused to give any information, merely saying that she considers Jenkins to be an enigma and incredibly sensitive, saying, "He's not what the media has made him out to be. He's an enigma. He has feelings. He's very sensitive. He's very intelligent, and yes, he's very manipulating." It has not been confirmed, however, if the 2 lovebirds managed to get married after all. Nikko Jenkins is one of the most hardened killers on death row and seems to show no remorse for the killings that he committed. For someone who got his first entry into the world of crime at the age of 7, it can be argued that his end was almost predictable. Psychiatrists have argued that Jenkins is faking his psychotic symptoms while he claims that they are real. Either way, the consequences of his actions seem to have caught up with him, and there's no escaping this time. Let's also learn a bit about his closest known family members who have also been convicted for violent crimes. Lori Jenkins is Nikko Jenkins' mother. The 51-year-old was found guilty of concealing evidence and providing false information about the purchase of ammunition. Even then, she was found not guilty of providing gasoline to her son and his uncle Warren Levering to get rid of the evidence. The court ruled that she did not know what the gasoline was to be used for. Nonetheless, she was sentenced to 5 to 6 years in jail. Before that, she was already serving 10 years for being a felon in possession of ammunition. Erica Jenkins is also Nikko Jenkins' sister and was also involved in his murders. She was one of the 2 women who lured Jenkins' first 2 victims to their deaths. She also helped Jenkins kill his 3rd victim, Curtis Bradford, and assisted with Kruger's death. She was found guilty of Bradford's death and was sentenced to life in prison. She's also serving a 10-year sentence for robberies associated with the killings and 20 to 30 years for beating up fellow inmates Christine Bordeaux, who is also her cousin. Bordeaux testified against Erica and Nikko during their trial. David A. McGee Sr. is the patriarch of the Jenkins family. Although he never married Lori Jenkins, he is the father of her 6 children. He was also involved in a series of violent crimes, and at the time of his death in 2009, he was a felon convicted for several crimes. Warren Levering is Nikko Jenkins' uncle, and he helped him with the robbery and murder of Andrea Kruger. He pleaded guilty to charges of attempted robbery and accessory charges in the death of Kruger. While he did not kill Kruger, he was hit with first-degree murder charges and sentenced to 40 years in prison. His sentence was eventually cut in half, and he was released in 2020 after completing the sentence. Lori Sayles is Erica Jenkins' younger sister, who was also an accessory to Jenkins' killings. She was charged in connection with Bradford's murder and was accused of hiding the murder weapon. Maloney Jenkins is another one of Nikko Jenkins' sister who has also been convicted for several offenses. She testified against Erica during her murder trial but is not currently incarcerated. At the time of her arrest, she had 3 children under the age of 7. What a family, right? Did you like this video? You can see some of our other videos if you enjoyed this one.
Are there some quick facts you feel like we missed? Please let us know in the comment section below and check out this other recent clip from Sidemex Entertainment. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.